today we're headed out for 3 nights. We're staying at Elizabeth Lake. We're staying at Gables Creek. And then we are staying at Poya Lake. And we are headed up first through the Ptarmigan Tunnel. Such a cool spot in the park. So we're gonna be climbing, continuing to climb up to there. We'll stop and have our first big break of the day up there. And then we're going through the tunnel and down the trail on the other side. And it is going to be epic. We are so excited. And just like that, we've come around the corner to see Ptarmigan Lake and the beautiful hell that is these switchbacks. They're gonna take us all the way up to that wall. You probably can't see it, but way up there, I see a little arch and I'm pretty sure is the tunnel. Okay, so this is Elizabeth Lake, and this is where we'll be camping at the head of it. And then further back this way that you can't see yet is Helen Lake, and we'll do a side trip out to there later on today. Now we just get to enjoy this.
Right.
The rest of the day.
Yeah, we are in no rush to get down.
Yeah.
Especially because it's only 9 something.
Yeah. And we got here in 2.5 hours. Well, it's been 3 hours, including our break. Wow. Found Helen Lake. This is deep water. Whew, well, our leisurely hike along the lake is super exposed to the sun. It's right at noon now, so it is hot, but we get to hike back on this tomorrow morning, just around dawn, so that's gonna be amazing. And I think you might be able to see them out in the lake. We've got 2 swans. Whew. Yeah, this is still pretty awesome. As miserable as this trail is, like here, I'd much rather this kind of lake trail
Oh yeah.
than the like up in the forest, up and down. Well, we made it to our camp at Elizabeth Head around 12:30, and the heat was really coming in by then. We enjoyed sitting in the shade of the eating area and chatting with some people who were packing up from the night before. Hi, Josh. And Josh's not quite uncle. I didn't catch your name, but hi. And then eventually we set up our own tent, went for a swim in Elizabeth Lake, which was really lovely. Sat in some shade on the beach down there, and then just tried to bounce around from place to place to stay cool and avoid the flies. The flies are out and they're really, really annoying. Eventually our tent got into enough shade that we could hang out in there. And now we are finishing our hike for the day. We set off around 5 o'clock and we are hiking out to Helen Lake. And then we'll get back hopefully by 8 and then finish up our dinner and make sure we're ready for tomorrow and then crawl into bed. All right, well, good morning. Day 2. We are setting out from camp. Left around 6:15. So pretty good, efficient packing up this morning since we woke up at 5:30. It is already pretty warm today. It's not hot, but it's not cool. So that's kind of concerning. So now we're out. We got 5 miles today to our next campsite. So really not bad. And then we're going to set up camp, hopefully, if there's an open spot, and pack a day bag and head out for some more miles. Given the heat, I don't know what we'll end up getting today, but we're at least going to get up to the Bear Mountain Overlook and hopefully out to Costly Lake. right, we are on the return hike to our camp by a little bit of a side trip, but we've done the furthest out point we're gonna do today. After summiting the very windy Bear Observation Lookout Point, Bear Mountain Lookout Point, we trudged down in hot sun over talus scree slopes to get back down to the main trail. And then we hopped on over to Costly Lake, where we jumped in the water, got instantly cold, sat in the shade and chatted with some new friends. Hi, if you're watching this, hope you had a good rest of your trip. And then we hiked out to the Glens Lake Foot campsite, and then we turned around. So it's hot, but we are doing okay with drinking a lot of water and some shade, and if the wind and breeze has still been good. And I'm gonna dip my hat in this creek because I like it. Oh yeah, it's gonna be nice and cold. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's good. What time is it? What's it time for? For a team talk.
You doing team talk?
We hiked 20 miles today. We are tired. We backpacked 5.5 miles to Gables Creek. We threw our camp up, and then we set out from here to just haul ourselves as far as we could will ourselves to go. It's good to be back. Good to be sitting in the shade. It's good to have had dinner. First dinner. Second dinner.
And that concludes.
Hey guys. All right, start of day 3. We did not sleep that well last night. Despite a 20-mile day, really windy, and that kind of was throwing us off. We just couldn't get comfortable. It has been super warm. It's been hot during the day, but then at night it's been a lot warmer than we've expected, and we kind of have 2 extremes right now for bedding. So we packed our 10-degree quilt to make sure we were safe. But unfortunately, that's also been like really warm for night. So we're getting started today in just t-shirts. Today we're gonna start by hiking past the Belly River Ranger Station, and then retracing a bunch of our steps from yesterday, and eventually turning onto Red Gap Pass Trail and climbing Red Gap Pass up, and then dropping down to Poya Lake. It just doesn't care. Since when does it not care? We're making our way up to the Red Gap Pass Trail. Been doing some good steady climbing since Lake Elizabeth, and all the blue skies that we had yesterday afternoon are turning smoky again. So just really amazing how much it can change from day to day. A lot of people will experience forest fire smoke when they come up here. It's just part of the mountains in the summer. And it can feel really disappointing. And yes, sometimes you can have like a whole trip ruined. But because the wind changes direction so much, the fire smoke often also moves. So you might still get those pristine views at some point in your week, if not every day. A little bit of an update and our first hiccup. We are currently separated on trail. I have both packs. We misread a map. It was just stupid, and we thought there'd be water on the pass trail that we're hiking up, but it turns out it comes in from a different angle than we read on the map. So Kelly is backtracking about a third to a half of a mile to the last known stream source that we have seen. He has our 3-liter Catadine bag, and he's going to fill that up and bring it back up here. We still have water, but we have a heavy climb ahead of us and it's hot, and so if we run out, it'd be really bad. We don't want to have to ration, so we decided to go ahead and just take the extra time today to be safe. I'm gonna sit here and eat half of a payday bar because it's snack time and I'm starving, and then I am going to ever so slowly move both of our packs up the trail so that Kelly gets a little bit more of a break when he comes up here, and he knows I'm doing that, so we are able to, I won't make it too far, but he'll be looking for me, and he'll know I'll be up ahead of where he stopped. Yeah, so that's our update. Feeling a bit irresponsible. We should have double checked our map back at the last intersection, and it would have saved us a lot of time and effort. The triumphant hero returns. You had to go that far?
1.8.
You were at 6?
I hit my mile when I left you.
What are you at now?
783.
Wow. I'm at 647. Oh my gosh, you've been booking it.
I ran all the way down.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Felt really good.
To not have your pack?
Yeah. Good job on those switchbacks.
Well, this is beautiful. So one of the things about reading the maps in Glacier is that they'll show a ton of water on the trail, but it's very seasonal. So this would show up as a blue line on our map, meaning that it's a place where you can get water. But we have learned not to count on these sources, especially later in the summer. So that is why we backtracked to get water, because we could tell we were getting higher and drier and probably weren't gonna run into anything else. This is Red Gap Pass. We had another party up here when we summited, and they packed up shortly after, and now we have it to ourselves, so pretty awesome. We're gonna hang for a bit. It is sunny, but a lot cooler up here because it's so high, and probably more enjoyable than our campsite. So we're gonna hang out here for a little while. All right, we're setting down from Red Gap Pass. We sat up here for an hour and a half, which is like a personal record for us. A good breeze kept us cool despite the sun. So hopefully that sunscreen that we put on earlier today was covering us well. We are now headed down for a really long haul to get to camp, about 5.5 miles with no major landmarks. So wish us luck. We made it to Poya Lake for night 3 of our backpack. We definitely spent like about 24 hours hemming and hawing about trying to just finish the whole hike today. But we realized that 24 plus miles with full packs might be, you know, stupid. So, and plus it's super hot today, or it was this afternoon. So we settled into Poya, and the big surprise has been absolutely insane wind. Like, our tent is full of dust. It's flapping like crazy. We'll see if it's still blowing later, and I'll get some footage. And it's mostly keeping the bugs away, although these flies are pesky. So I'll try to show you some of the shots from the lake once we get there. All right, good morning, day 4. This is officially the longest we've ever backpacked. And oh my gosh, was it ever a night. The winds picked back up and were just absolutely insane. I don't know if they died down for periods of time or if we were able to sleep through them occasionally. Sorry, but we are covered in dust. Everything in our tent is covered in dust. We are just crusty. At this point, like, we're so dirty already, it almost doesn't matter, but whew, it was rough. It's 6:05 and we're leaving camp. We have just under 10 miles, we think, to get back to our car today. So should be a nice and short last day, mostly downhill with just one pesky climb coming up. And that's gonna be a wrap on our first ever 3-night, 4-day backpacking trip. We're gonna clock about 62 miles, 8,500 feet of elevation gain, amazing views, bizarre weather. Really happy to be finishing up the last road walk to get back.